Hi students, welcome back to Fortune Cloud. So today's topic, we are going to start a series of these videos. We'll be having 10 series of these videos where we'll understand what is supervised machine learning models. So in machine learning, we have different types of machine learning, right? In that, we will see the first type of machine learning, that is what is supervised machine learning model. We'll understand everything from the theoretical concept, from the basic concept, and also we'll see what are the algorithms. We'll also have the practical sessions on the algorithms, and we'll see what are the evaluation metrics also in the upcoming series. So good afternoon everybody, my name is Shadaf here. Today we are going to start about understanding supervised machine learning model. Okay, so before going to understanding the supervised machine learning model, what is machine learning? Basically, machine learning is nothing but it is a branch of AI, or else we can call it as it is a subset of AI where machine learns through itself. As we can see in the definition, it's a branch of artificial intelligence that focuses on developing models and algorithms that let computers learn from data without being explicitly programmed for every task. So that is nothing but there are some algorithms and models that computer learns from data without being explicitly programmed. See, we have a traditional programming one side and machine learning one side. In our traditional programming, what we used to do, we used to define the rules, we used to write the rules. But in machine learning, what happens, the machine itself learns from the data which we have provided. So we'll see later on how it is in a very deeper way, we'll understand. And then also the difference between traditional programming and machine learning programming. So see, what we have two types of programming. The traditional programming that we do, like in full stack or other technologies, we explicitly write the programs. So in traditional programming, we give rules and the data, and the program gives us the output. So what we used to do, we used to write the code, and the code used to, or the program used to give the output. But in machine learning, we'll give data plus output and the algorithm learns the rule. What does this mean? That is nothing but what we'll be giving, we'll be giving data as well as the output. Will not write the rules or the patterns what the data is following. Will give only the data and the output, and the machine or the algorithm which we are going to do, that algorithm understand the rules, he will learn the rules by its own. That is the main difference between a traditional programming and a machine learning model. Okay, so see, this is a very beautiful example to make or to understand better about the difference between what is traditional programming and what is machine learning. So there is an example. Let's say we want to tell a computer that the number is even or odd. We want to understand, or we are writing a code which we want to understand the given number is even or odd. So how we'll write in traditional programming? I have took an example of Python code over here. So how we'll write in a Python code? We'll write something like this. We'll have a if condition, we'll have a mathematical operations, and if that operation equals to 0, and we'll print even, else we'll print out. This is nothing but the set of rules. This is the rule for this question. Nothing but what is our question? The given number is even or odd. Nothing but this is the rule what we used to write into our traditional programming. Let's come to the machine learning. What is the difference between machine learning now? So in machine learning, you can see, now imagine you don't know the rule for even or odd. That we don't know what is the rule for even or odd. In our traditional programming, we know that if any number is divided by 0 and it's equals to 0, then we can say that okay, this number is even, or else it is odd. But imagine that we don't know that, and but we have a big notebook like this. Example, we have a whole data of saying 2 is even, 3 is odd, 4 is even, 5 is odd, and hundreds of example. Okay, nothing but we have a list of examples over there. Okay, so this is what the machine learning model understands. He finds, that model finds the pattern in this and it learns by itself. So we need to give any explicit rules like how we are giving into our old or traditional programming language. So this is the difference between the traditional programming language and the machine learning models. Okay, going further, so going further, I guess everyone has understood what is the difference between traditional programming language and what is the difference between traditional programming and machine learning. Now let us see what are the different types of machine learning. So as we know that there are basically four types of machine learning. Okay, the first type is nothing but supervised learning, then we have unsupervised learning, then we have semi supervised learning, and at the last we have reinforcement learning. In this series we'll be focusing on supervised and a bit of unsupervised machine learning techniques. So what do you mean by, we'll go step by step, by supervised machine learning model. So what do you mean by supervised machine learning model? So let's go further and see what do we mean by supervised machine learning model. So in this presentation or in this slide, you guys can see that supervised learning is a type of machine learning where the model is trained using labeled data. That is, data that includes both input and the correct output. Here we have a term called as labeled data. So what do you mean by that labeled data? As the definition says, it's a type of machine learning model where the model is trained using labeled data. Okay, so we'll see what is labeled data. Okay, imagine we have a data. We have got a term called as labeled data. What do we mean by labeled data now? Labeled data is nothing but, imagine, take this as a data set, okay, and this is the rows and columns which we have. Okay, the rows and the columns which we have. Now what do you mean by label? Label data is nothing but where we have input as well as the output. Nothing but, we can take an example of a student marks. Yes, we can take example of student marks. Nothing but we'll have name, test marks 1, test marks 2, test marks 3, and pass or fail. Okay, we'll have name A, B, C, D, and the values respectively, and also we'll be having output. Nothing but, is it pass or fail or pass? This is nothing but what we called as a label data. Okay, coming to this slide, what, I guess the slide is visible. Let me just, okay. Supervised machine learning is a type of machine learning where the model is trained using labeled data. That is, that data includes both input and the correct output. So let us see with an example, and also the machine learns from example input output pair to make predictions on new data. So how this supervised machine learning model works? It works on labeled data. What is labeled data? Labeled data is nothing but where we have input and also a correct output. So let us take an example. Let's say we want to create a machine learning model, or we want to create a machine that recognize fruits based on their features. Now imagine this is a data set. Imagine this is a data set, and these three color, just a minute, this color, this size, the shape is nothing but the input features. These are the nothing but the input features, and the fruit column is nothing but your output. Yes, so by seeing this, what we can say, nothing but this data is a label data. Okay, now the question is that we want to create a machine which, or who understands what the fruit is based on the features. Okay, so how that machine will understand? What that machine will do is, if we provide such kind of example or the data to it, it understand the features, and it understand to what input features, what is the output, and then when we give it a new data, it will understand a pattern, yes, and then it will give you output. Example, now we have red color as a red, size as small, shape as round. If these three features are there, then we can say that it is an apple. Similarly, we have another, that is, if the color is yellow and the size is medium and the shape is long, that is nothing but the banana. Now see, this machine is trained on label data. So when you show it a new fruit, whenever we want to show it a new fruit, we can say that the color is yellow and the size is medium or long or shape, then we can say that the fruit is banana. Okay, so this is what a machine learning model in a supervised machine learning model learns. This is nothing but the example of how and what type of data a supervised machine learning model takes. Okay, just a minute, let me clear the board. Okay. Coming to another example, let me just coming to another example. This is the another example of how a supervised machine learning model works. Okay, this is nothing but another supervised learning. We have here a input raw data. Let me just take the pen. Okay, I think it is visible. Now in this we have input raw data. That is nothing but this is the data. The data is of animals. Okay, the data is of animals, and to that data we have labels. Nothing but this type of animal is nothing but cow. This type of animal is nothing but elephant. This type of animal is nothing but camel. So this is nothing but our input data is, and this is our machine learning algorithm. This is our machine learning algorithm, and this is the supervisor who is giving the training data set to this and also desired output. Okay, both the things, and then the machine learning starts learning, or it start processing. Nothing but here it the machine learning learns everything, and now when it is a testing phase, if I give these three as input, it will understand through the past data and it will give you output as follows. Nothing but this animal is elephant, this is camel, and this is cow. See, the input we have given to that model, and that model has given us an output which is correct. Yes, so this is the raw data which we have used, and here the algorithm learns based on this labeled data, and then whenever we check for output, the output is correctly given. So this is nothing but how a supervised machine learning model works. Okay, so how does it works? First and foremost, supervised machine learning uses label data. What is label data? Label data is nothing but the data containing input as well as the correct output. Okay, so the machine learning model finds a pattern or learns itself by the raw data, and with the labeled raw data processes it and gives the correct output. Okay, so this is how a supervised machine learning model basically works. So this was the overview of how a machine learning model works, a supervised machine learning model particularly speaking. Okay.